Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the official trailer that came out for Morbius. If you haven't seen it already, I'll include a link to it in the description down below. But obviously, I might have brought this up when the teaser trailer dropped, but I don't have much experience with Morbius. Like, it's one of those Spider-Man villains I know very little about. I know about his circumstances, and obviously we get the context of Michael Morbius' story of him being sick and him trying to find a way not only to cure himself, but cure other people in the world. It is that age-old tale of, you know, once again, it's a phrase I love because it encompasses so many different stories, and I just love the messaging behind it. And just in the think of, like, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like, you may have the best of intentions, but it can always go so awry and so wrong, you know, and that seems to be the crux of this story. But once again, like I said, I might have talked about this before, but my experience with Morbius is only like from like the animated series of Spider-Man from like the 90s. That's my only experience with the character. And I know in that he does the whole plasma thing, but if I remember correctly, and do correct me in the comments down below because I could be completely wrong, but my understanding is that was they made that choice for the cartoon because it was one of those things of like, right, they couldn't get too like visceral of like him being a straight up vampire, so they went down the plasma route for like the cartoon. But that's not how he works in the comics. That he is more like your traditional vampire, I think. Once again, I could be mistaken on that front, but because that series is my only experience with him. Other than that, like, I know like there's certain video games I know he's been referenced in, like Michael Morbius is, but not necessarily that he's become Morbius the living vampire. But obviously the series, like, you know, it showcases, like, you know, the fact is after everything that went down on that expedition to find, you know, with the bats and everything, to find a way to not only cure himself but other people, he disappeared for like 2 months, wakes up on like a cargo ship where people find him, like either a cop or like some military group finds him, and I think he just rips through them. But at this point he doesn't fully know, like, he learns, as you see throughout the trailer, which will be throughout the movie, he learns what he's capable of, the superhuman strength. The flying is something I knew about because he did a lot of that in the animated series, like Spider-Man and everything. But what I think makes this so interesting too is obviously that line, I think they even say it in the trailer, like the line between villain and hero breaks. Now this isn't just like a Venom situation where Venom is playing an anti-hero. Like, Michael Morbius has always been in that complicated area because he has, you know, and that's with any vampire story, he has those uncontrollable urges. He can't control himself. So the difference between him and Venom, first and foremost, like, Venom kind of ran rampant a lot throughout the first Venom movie. I'm only like referencing it because I've not seen Let There Be Carnage yet, but like Eddie and Venom are just kind of running amok, doing their thing, kind of unabated throughout, I think, all of Venom. It has been a while, so I might not be remembering well, but even based on the trailers for Let There Be Carnage, doesn't seem like anyone's really gotten in his way. But this is like Michael is getting like stopped by the police. They're like getting involved in this whole situation. So I think that adds this interesting element of like, right, because he is still enough of himself to be like, right, I am going to try and turn myself in. Obviously we got it in the previous teaser that he crosses paths with Michael Keaton's Vulture from the MCU. So this could just be either, yes, this is the exact same Vulture, or because of, you know, everything that's going down in Loki, what will eventually be Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, what is going down in No Way Home, this might be like a variant of Vulture that did, you know, this doesn't necessarily mean that it takes place in the same universe, but this could be like a different, so kind of implying maybe Venom and Morbius take place in a different universe inside of the multiverse type of situation. They do reference the San Francisco stuff, so it is like, yeah, this does take place in the same universe that Venom is happening in. I even love that at the end he makes that joke, and it's just like, what are you, man? He's like, I'm Venom. He's like, I'm just kidding. I'm Dr. Morbius. I'm like, I love that. Having some fun with it, but once again, just like that, I think what's interesting with Morbius' story, and once again just basing this on the cartoon, because maybe it's true to him in the comics as well, but it's like, it's a tragic love story too, of like, right, being separated from the woman that you love as well. Because I know like Craven kind of has similar elements to his story from what I remember the animated series. Once again, I mean, that's the thing, like, comics have been around, these characters have probably been around for a very long time. I don't know how long, but long enough they're probably like, you know, different people have done different things with the story, so there's probably like, no, not just one thing to the characters. There's some overlap, but I'm sure other people have done their own things with the characters over the course of the years. It's gonna be interesting because like you have like Tyrese Gibson's character being like, I want to try and help you, because I think that is straight up like his best friend being like, I know what you went through, like I'm here to help you. Like, I know you don't want to hurt people, because despite being what he is now, like, he's still that caring person that's like, right, I did this because I want to help people. I don't want to get consumed by this. So that back and forth between giving into the almost like animalistic instincts that he has of just wanting to feed versus the man that he's still inside. Like, you know, it's different with the Venom situation, because Venom is like, right, we're two sentient beings occupying the same body essentially, whereas Morbius, it's like his mind is being divided between the two sides of him, you know, the good, the evil, you know, the man, the monster. Is he like, I mean, I'm sure you can like field some like Frankenstein level stories, you know, between like, oh, I mean, I guess a more added description would be like very Jekyll and Hyde of like, you know, losing yourself in all of this but still wanting to try and do good. And you know, where his story ends up taking him, we'll have to obviously wait and see. But it's not just, you know, his friend is helping him. It's like some people just want to straight up destroy him. We don't really get a full insight into it, but we do see Matt Smith in this, and like we saw him in the teaser, and we still don't really know what he is. But at the same time, the voiceover is talking about like, right, people who want to control you. So it's like there are people who want to take advantage of what he has and what he is and use it for their own. I mean, obviously we see that with like the symbiotes as well, like in Venom. So it's just about this power that kind of runs rampant. Because I brought it up before, just before that, because something that was kind of crossing my mind is Kraven. Obviously there were talks about there being a Kraven the Hunter. It's going to be Aaron Taylor Johnson. I don't know if that was ever like confirmed. Maybe it was, I just don't remember. But I remember for a while they're like, yeah, he's going to be Kraven in like their Kraven the Hunter movie, which I'm like, that'd be interesting, because obviously always hunting game, and especially if you make, you know, if you go by like his story being kind of tied to love as well, like kind of one of the reasons why he is the way he is, that he, you know, obviously like Morbius could be like a prey of his. Obviously there's the talks of wanting, you know, obviously like Kraven's always been like one of my favorite villains to like go toe to toe with Spider-Man, just from like my experience with him across, because he's a character I've seen across, you know, I've seen him in video games. I want to say he's in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game. He's kind of like one of the main antagonists, if not the, like you cross, well, you work with him for a little bit, but then you're enemies. So tying that into a Morbius story, but also just like any Spider-Man related stuff would be just dope to see that cinematically. But yeah, I mean, just from the trailer alone, like I was already kind of interested in it, and I think it brings like a very unique situation to the Marvel. We've come to know so far, as well as doing something I think a little different while feeling similar, while still kind of doing its own thing. I think it can bridge the gap between those two things, and I'm very interested to see where the movie ends up, you know, taking us in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, these are just some of my thoughts. I'd love to get to know yours in the comments down below. What did you think of the trailer? What are some things you want to see for the movie? What are some things you expect to see for the movie? Did this trailer move the needle for you either way? I know some people are just like, I have no interest in it. Did this movie make you interested in it? I'd love to know. Like, you know, if you didn't like it, that's fine. If you have no interest in the movie, that's fine too. I'm just curious to know where some people stand on it. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.